All right. Welcome back to the 2026 League of Dicks post draft rankings by you know it as the one, the only Knicks shirt wearing Seth the Greater Cohen. Hey, Seth.
Hi, so happy to be here. Happy to have done these post-draft ranks once again for the
Yeah,
23rd year or whatever this is.
beautiful. Jared, any
Yeah.
thoughts?
Let's just get into it, man.
Hell yeah.
Number one
Seth,
was
why don't you
Ryan.
just,
Let's
why
hear.
don't you
Let's
just,
Ryan. How do you feel about your draft being number one?
my draft's number one?
Yes, you were ranked number
Oh,
one.
I tell you, as I was telling Seth before, this has happened once before, and it didn't end well for me. But I think my team's nice and balanced, just like Seth said. I feel like I've got some good pieces. I feel like I'm relying on a couple of those pieces to operate at peak performance, like I guess a lot of us are in a way. But yeah, I think I did the smart thing. I got some good value early and often. To be honest with you, I think my pitching staff's a little better than it normally is. So I feel pretty good about a couple foundational bats and 4 or 5 really good arms. And yeah, I think I'll be competitive.
How are you feeling about Wyatt Langford, Ryan? Do you actually think this guy's gonna do something?
That's a lot of money for Wyatt Langford. I don't know how he wasn't the worst buy. Who is
You
his worst
know,
buy?
Put Rooker as his worst buy.
That one's not bad. $66 is a lot for
That's a
Rooker.
lot for Brent Rooker,
Yeah, it
right?
is. Yeah.
I mean, okay, we can flip this on its head and start busting up on my team. You're the one who ranked them one, motherfucker. But no,
The arms, like the arms, are super solid.
look, I mean,
Yeah.
Rooker, give up on him all you want, and they're still playing in that bandbox. He's still going to hit 35 to 40 home runs. He's still going to hit 270 plus. And the A's aren't always going to be as bad as they are. Langford is a wild card, obviously. I feel like he's got the potential to be an every cat guy, but who knows, man? He looks real awful when he's bad. I mean, he looks really like he's never hit a baseball in his life at times, and I'm well
He's
aware of
still. I
that.
mean, he went 2020 last year, so it's not like he
But he
had
went through some
value.
stretches where he looked like he'd never
Yeah,
played the game, and
yeah,
and, that, and
but
that's tough
still
to
in the
watch.
end, he did have like they weren't like terrible numbers in the
No,
end.
I'd still take Wyatt Langford over Gunnar Henderson. I mean, what did Gunnar Henderson go for?
60,
60 something.
I think just flat 60. Yeah.
It always scares me with like these big hyped prospects when they don't do well out of the gate, and then it's just sort of like, okay, is this guy a ticking time bomb, or is this a fucking waste of my time? It's
This
just
is
like
also
it's
now
so hard
like
to
the
tell.
it's the third year of the Wyatt Langford experiment. So
Yeah.
I mean,
this
what
year
did
I
I
think is
spend
kind of
on
make or
him?
break for him, whether he's going to be like a fantasy stud or not. If he
I didn't spend $70 on the guy.
50.
I mean, I'm okay
You
with
could have
that.
got Logan Gil. Would you have Logan Gilbert or Wyatt Langford?
My pitching staff's fine, bro.
But I'm just saying in general, would you rather have Logan
It's a
Gilbert or
dumb,
Wyatt
it's a
Langford?
dumb fucking question.
Would you rather have Christopher
It's like saying,
Sanchez or Wyatt
would you rather
Langford?
have a Ducati or a fucking Ferrari? I mean, they're not the same thing.
I think one is a Ferrari and one is not a Ducati. It's like a used something or other, not a racing bike. I don't know. I don't know a lot about motorcycles.
Anyway, I'm okay with my team. I mean, like the bottom line is, it's not sexy. Someone great once told me, uh, you know, Haagen-Dazs vanilla is Haagen-Dazs, but it's still vanilla. So yes, it's the best ice cream made, but it's still vanilla. So let's see, you can do a lot of good things with Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream, right?
And we should just also mention Caminero back at the Trop.
Yeah, we don't
Yes.
Do you
want to
see?
lose sight
Do,
of that dead
do you
horse
see?
you've been
Well,
beating
do
for
you
the
see?
past week.
But do you see 45 home runs or like what do you expect? Like
No,
what
I
are you
didn't pay for
expecting from him?
45 home runs.
I
No, I
know,
paid
no, you
for
didn't. But I'm just saying, like, what are you expecting from him? Like,
I think
what do you
that
30.
think?
kid could still hit 40 home runs.
No,
Like
35 with 40
yeah.
upside.
Good,
Yeah. I think
good.
35 home runs all day. I think he's going to hit 280, and I think he's fun to watch.
He's an elite. He's an elite bat, I think,
Yeah,
for
and he's
sure.
third baseman. I mean, there aren't a lot of great third basemen.
No, there
I
was only
mean,
like four of them.
let's be real. So, if he was an outfielder, I don't know that I would have Gotten as excited about him, but he's not, and he's still a good $70 bat as an outfielder. So whatever. I feel pretty damn good about that buy.
It's a good team.
Yeah, Seth likes it.
I was it's like I think it's the most I think it's the it has the most value of the teams with balance, and I think it's the team that's most ready to face others in a matchup like right now.
Yeah.
And like I just like there's just a lot of people like maybe they have more player value or maybe they have a more elite player value, but like they're not really ready to like have a matchup. Which is like when there's a lot of teams like that, then it's kind of okay because some of those teams are going to match up with each other, and it's like it's not a big deal. But my overall thought on the draft was sort of like okay, like I think the teams that are balanced are ready to play, and the teams that are like unbalanced might have a edge on value. Some of them have an edge on values, but like it's just sort of like they need to figure out their rosters, like they're
Yeah.
just not ready to like they got to make moves.
It seems like your rankings sort of definitely favored the guys with more balanced approach. Like you got Justin
But
ranked
that's
second, you
that's
got
kind of like
Bryant ranked
historically how he does it. I think that's
ranked
the right
third.
way to rank the draft.
For
You want to
sure.
rank like what the best team is. It's not like, oh,
Yeah,
this guy's got
today.
the best players. Like who has the best team? Like who has the least work to do on their roster? It like you're definitely one of the teams that has the least work to do.
And yet I will destroy that team by year's end.
Yeah,
So
why not? I guess second was Justin, which I
yeah.
found curious. So let's get your explanation on Justin being second with that pitching staff. His bats were Tatis was his Witt was his top bat. Then he had Tatis, and who was his third bat?
Kettle Marte.
Yeah, Kettle
Yeah,
Marte.
like I kind of liked the trio of Witt, Tatis, and Kettle Marte. And then, he got some other like nice pieces with Shea and like Luzardo and Burns. Also the Murakami guy, like this guy's
He's
kind
already
of come out.
bombs away already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like I mean
I
if that
thought
guy's a piece
$24
too,
was a lot, but hey, he might be a
if
bargain at $24. We don't know.
if that guy hits 35 homers, yeah, like that's kind of like that's another piece for him too.
And third
Yeah.
base, which is huge. So
Yeah. And like
He'll hit 230, but who cares? 35 home runs is 35 home runs.
we're not in a batting average day and age anymore.
Justin
No.
probably needs another starter, but like again, it's a more balanced team than a lot of other people out there, and he does have some elite talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he does. Who's his best pitcher?
Joe Ryan, I think. Is he
No,
Joe?
Joe Ryan's
Or
Brian.
That's Brian, yeah.
I think it's Luzardo.
Yeah, which
Got the lizard?
that didn't look too good today, but
That's a tough guy to be your number one. Like if he's your 2 or 3, you're fine.
When he gets hot, he's an ace. The thing about Luzardo is like he can go 6 or 8 starts and just be like kind of elite, and then just like falter a little bit. Then like last year he got back. I think last year he was more good than bad. For the first time, we saw him kind of like get to his potential more than before, and he stayed healthy.
Yeah.
So I don't hate that for $25 or whatever it was. I think that was good.
Yeah, he needs another arm, unquestionably. And then you got Brian, who also doesn't have great pitching.
Brian's I really wanted the explanation for Brian third here from Seth.
So I actually post draft I heard a couple people be like, "What the fuck did Brian do?" And like I think a lot of people like weren't into it. But then when I started going through the drafts, I was kind of like, I did legitimately get some flashbacks to some of Brian's previous teams, and it was a lot of teams like this where he makes a lot of bets and spreads his value around a lot, and like on the surface it can be like, okay, this is a bunch of fucking guys like I would never touch with like a 10-foot pole, but like he kind of takes all the like. Again, it's like he's going for a zag. I think he saw all the high prices that the bats were going for, a lot of triple digit players more than before. And then he also saw, the value pocket with the closers. So I think like there's something to be said about trying to zag in a draft like this and going for a value draft, not spending on players like over $60. Whether he made the right.
How do you feel about Ben
Yeah.
Rice for 30?
Again, I think that's crazy, but I think like when you have money to throw around because you
At
haven't
that point,
spent
yeah,
on,
like,
it's like some of those prices I think are just like, well, yeah, like he had a ton of money to like place these bets with, so like,
why not? Yeah.
yeah. It's some of the like that group of like Rice, Duran, Merrill, Naylor, Suzuki, like
Yeah.
some of those are gonna hit. You know
Yeah.
what I
But I
mean?
also just like I want to push back a little bit on him getting value on closers because I feel like since at least I've been in the league, like elite closers went for around $30 to $40. You know, like you very rarely would you see like Hader, prime Hader went for like 40. Liam Hendricks maybe prime went for like 40. But for the most part, like top end closers were like 28 to like 35 in that
Yeah.
range. And I feel like that's what he paid for his closers. I mean, I think he paid like 41 for Mason Miller.
Let me
I
look
think
at
he
his thing.
paid like 31 for Edwin Diaz. So he paid $70 on two closers. So I don't know. To me, that's not like great
He did,
value.
yeah, he did 36 on Miller and 31 on Diaz.
That's not like
Uh,
tremendous value to me. Like
yeah,
six or
but still,
seven
like
dollars on.
Chapman at 13 and Iglesias at 8. Those are prices that are like under
I
what
don't want. I
normally
wouldn't
would have
spend
happened.
$1 on Raisel Iglesias, and I think I have the Braves closer on my roster currently. But like,
That's, but
that's a
I'm
whole
just saying,
different
like
story.
in previous seasons, those prices would
Sure,
have been higher.
yes, yeah, sure. And
But you're
also,
right. I
Aroldis
think,
Chapman is also like very old. Like last year was
yes,
kind of
I
like
mean,
a
sure.
weird. That was weird last year.
I think that you're
He
right
could
though.
do it
Like
again, but
the high end closers were like around the same prices they have been historically, but like the middle to bottom tiers, those prices are like
Uncharacteristically
crazy.
low. Yeah.
Yeah,
Never, ever, ever have we seen closers go for under $10. Much less a handful of them
yeah,
go for $2,
it's
$3.
fair. Yeah,
That's been wild. But that's an overcorrect. This whole thing, this pendulum has definitely swung.
also
Jacoby
like
won the
Brian, if you're gonna
championship.
have that many closers, you need a legit ace.
Yeah, or
Which I
two.
like. I like Joe Ryan a lot, but I don't know that Joe Ryan is the guy you want on top of your low innings strategy. You know, if he's like your two, that's awesome. Like if he had, I don't know, like Brian Wu or somebody that was in like that, like 50, like Christopher Sanchez, like someone that was more in like that $40 to $50 range of ace with Joe Ryan behind him, I would like that staff a lot more.
Yeah.
that's true. I definitely felt like he was a pitcher short. But like he's got, I will say Brian's gonna have to play the trade market, and like he's got enough pieces, like he could trade for a pitcher and kind of
With
fill that
what?
hole.
With his
He's got,
closers.
Well, the funny thing is, people do not
Gunnar
pay for
Henderson,
closers.
no one's giving anything for Gunnar Henderson.
People like they do not pay for closers in the trade
Yeah,
market. They
it's
just
not.
don't.
And
I know because I've tried to
people that
sell
have
them.
them don't like they're just over. I was trying to trade Otani for a closer all week, and nobody wanted anything to do with it.
You
Like
didn't
I went
ask
to
me.
everybody that looked like they were playing short innings, and they wanted no part of Shohei Otani.
I'll take
I
Otani for
yes,
Fairbanks.
Yeah,
I'm on the air. Let's go.
I will not give you Otani for Fairbanks.
Why not?
You know.
oh, that sounds like a good deal to me. We
Yeah.
should do
Yeah,
that.
What are you worried
great
about?
deal. Yeah, sure.
The
It would
fun.
have to be like a top like four closer, but like like one of like the guys
Otani's
like he
gonna
went for
pitch
28
130
bucks, someone
innings.
that went in that range, like at least a Bednar type guy. You know what I mean? I don't know, but like what that's neither here nor there. But like
Now I
It'd be
feel like
here
you're
and
talking.
now.
I feel like you're pitching me now, Jared.
no, I'm not pissing you.
All right, let's
You
move.
know that
Let's
I feel
move it.
like Otani is an albatross. We could get to that later, but
Let's
anyway.
move it.
Yeah.
Bobby's number 4. I mean, obviously he's got all the pitchers in the world. Not all the pitchers, but everyone, but the one that Jacoby has. But yeah, I love his staff. Obviously, I mean, you got Yama
I
Wu,
love the trade he made.
Degrom. Yeah,
Yeah, I liked that too. I don't really know what Craig was doing on that trade.
Craig is spinning out of control, I think, right now over
he's
his
on
draft.
tilt.
Like, yeah.
Craig's on
I
tilt,
don't.
but then you get to
Craig's
Bobby's
on it.
bats, and it's just like, I mean, okay, so you've got,
Your best bat's
J-
Rafael Devers
J-
in San Francisco.
yeah,
I don't know how
So
that.
Devers for $80. I gotta like. I don't know which.
$82.
I
Yeah.
don't know which person was the craziest overpay, but that's definitely one that's up there.
well, that's just a case of him
I don't
having
know
all
in
the
this
money in
draft
the
that is
world
like
and there being
necessarily an
no bats
overpay. Like
left.
Devers is a little underrated. Like he'll hit 35 home runs. He should hit 280. I think it's
So
just we
he-
don't know about Devers as a Giant. Like we're
That's the
thinking of
problem.
Devers as a Red Sox player.
Yeah.
We don't know what he is in Candlestick, whatever they call it now. Pac Bell.
I felt like he was like maybe $45-$50 worth, and like for him to go for 82, I was like,
Even
man, this
60,
is
you can
But there were no
justify because
bats
of the
left. He
position.
had no
That's the
choice.
thing. He had so
There
much
were
money.
by the time he was bidding on Devers, everybody was gone. Like he was the last like high end bat that there was. Like there was nobody left. That's why everyone was
yeah.
bidding on him. That was their last chance to get a
I
bat.
mean, look, like I don't like his offense, but it is like an offense.
Jazz makes it. I think that trade makes it like
Yeah, agreed.
exponentially better. Like now you have a 30-30 guy in there.
Well, I mean, I don't quite know what to make of Bichette at this point.
What about
I
He's
had him
hard to
like,
Bichette is a
understand.
complete waste of money to me. I wouldn't spend $2 on Bichette, but that's just me. He's like a guy. He's like Luis Arise, but he hits like 5 more homers. It's not like he hits for
yeah,
batting
I don't
average.
know.
Like he's not like he doesn't run. He doesn't hit like more than like he's not going to hit more than 20 homers.
I had a period where I was really into him, and then I drafted him, and he had like the worst season, not just for him, but like maybe for any baseball player ever.
You traded it. We made a trade that year. I gave you
Yeah,
fucking,
yeah, yeah.
I gave you
I jumped
Goldie
for
and you gave me Bichette. They
Thank
both
you.
sucked. Yeah.
Well, and then you have to wonder about PCA. I mean, he was on fire for first half of the season last year. Then he
I
came
think
down
that's
to
okay
earth.
for that was like low 30s. I think that's an okay gamble for that price in this draft because
He's got both him and Wood are going to be hot and cold. Like those guys, just like
Wood I'm like very wary about. But like I think PCA is on a good enough team that he should get counting stats.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Wood's team is so terrible. And you know PCA is gonna at least steal you bases. Like he's gonna give you elite stolen bases, if nothing else.
Well, and
I'll
he's
be
going to scratch
curious.
singles into doubles and doubles into triples too, which gets you some
Yeah,
OPS juice.
I'll be curious about Wood's season because like he has the talent to be like a
I mean,
real
we
high
saw
end
first
player.
half, but I feel like they figured
Yeah,
him out a little bit. So
maybe.
I just think Washington is like a death sentence right now. Like just being on it's like being on the White Sox the last couple of years. Like you just
Yeah, it's a shitty team. It's a real shitty
I
team.
just think like there's a bad aura around all those guys. Like I feel like CJ Abrams should be better too. It's just but Bobby's pitching's pretty sick. He's got
Yeah,
DeGrom. He's got
Woo,
Brian Wu,
Yamamoto.
Yamamoto,
Yeah,
and he's
and
got
Schlitter's
closers.
like his number 4, and he's got good closers. Yeah, I mean, it's going to
yeah.
be a tough matchup.
Schlitz is probably an ace, so that's
He's
something.
got the most complete stat, like starters and closers. Like he's the most complete top to bottom.
He has the best pitching. If I could take anyone's pitching staff, I would take his.
Yeah, I think that's why
Even
it's
with
like okay,
Jacoby's 3 aces, I would still take his pitching
right?
staff.
And like yeah, like I'm not in love with Wood, PCA, and Devers, but like with the best pitching staff, like that's still guys that are gonna do something for you. Like
Yeah,
he'll
100%.
scratch his way through it.
Yeah, like I think he's a playoff team probably. I agree with you there. So like
All
there's
right,
enough
is
talent
it?
that he can get going with it. Who is seventh?
No,
What
fifth.
are we up
We
to?
got to go fifth. We're on Seth, man. Best
Fifth is
laid
Seth.
plans.
Seth,
Yeah.
best laid plans. What happened, Seth?
Coming off the season where I felt like
The
I
thing we
really
all want to know. I think what
underperformed.
everyone wants to know is
Yeah,
bidding war between you and Craig, which is
yeah.
for me was one of the highlights of the draft. Was seeing
Craig
Kyle
and
Schwarber
I
first
was
go for 113 early in the draft too. It wasn't late. It was like pretty early. It was in the top 10
I was.
picks.
It's not the first time Craig and I have locked horns like that. And it goes back years, and so I will say I was very frustrated, particularly after I lost the second one, which I think was Alonzo, but I was very frustrated with him and the whole situation. I had gone into the draft, I did my prep, I kind of changed a few things, I made some tweaks. I didn't like what happened last year for obvious reasons, so I was like, okay, like I got to take a more fresh approach to this. When I came out of the whole like prep phase, I really had kind of like made a plan, which is normally not what I would do. I wouldn't really
Good.
lock on to like a couple of players, but I really did on this particular draft. So I was
Schwarber
like,
obviously
look,
being one of them.
yeah, the four guys I was like, I'm gonna come out of this draft hell or high water with these four guys. One was Schwarber, one was Pete Alonso, and then the other two I got, which was Kurtz and Cal Raleigh. Um, and it was funny to me that like uh I think Craig had been in the bidding on all of those, but Yeah, with Schwarber, I was like, I would easily pay $100 for this guy. And like,
He had a
once,
monster year last year, and
yeah,
he's probably good for 45 home runs and a 900 OPS or close to it. So like, I think he's easily could be $100 bat. I don't have any problem with that really. But
yeah. I think the Alonso one was a little crazier.
wild. You know what was the most wild about the Alonso one? You already had Nick Kurtz for $94, so you already had a first
I know.
baseman. It's like you're trying to fill your utility slot with Pete Alonso for $109,
Yeah.
which was just like wild to me. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? It was just like, are these guys just like, you're not getting him, I'm getting him? Was there a little bit of that going on there? Like, fuck you, like I'll pay more.
There is definitely like, yeah. I mean, at least for me, like when
I'm sure
and
for
at
him
that point
too. I
too,
didn't
it's
want to pay
like
that much.
because I lost Schwarber, I doubled down on Alonso,
Like
right?
you
I was
weren't
like,
giving, yeah, you weren't.
yeah, I was like, I'm not giving you
Especially
a
to,
fucking inch on
would you
this.
have bid that high if it was someone besides Craig? Like if Ryan were bidding you that, like you already lost Schwarber to Craig. Now you're bidding on Alonso. If it's someone that's not Craig driving it that high, are you still in at that price? Or
I
did
don't know.
or
I
did
think
or
like
Craig or
and
did Craig stealing Schwarber have a little bit to do with that?
yeah, it was more to do with the timing of when the draft picks were going, and so after I lost Schwarber, it was more that I doubled down on Alonso because I had lost out on Schwarber. So I was like, no one's gonna outbid me on Alonso. I'll go up to triple digits, and then of course it goes $10 beyond that. And I kind of at that point it's like I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, like I again, like you have to do your prep and you have to have a plan B, right? And I was
Yeah,
like, you know what? If I let go of this, I can do X, Y, and Z with this roster instead of taking Pete Alonso for this fucking insane price. And so
yeah.
at that point, it's
And
like you let
you
go of
already
it.
had Kurtz too, so it wasn't like
Yeah, I already had Kurtz, I already had Raleigh, so I was like, I'm not dead in the water with my bats here. But it was also a moment of like, well, that means I'm taking value picks right from like second and third tier. Like I'm not gonna have another elite bat. You know what I mean?
what was your Raleigh value? Where did you have him?
I had him as like an $80 player. And
Okay.
so and I kind of read
Did you go in knowing you were getting a discount on
How are
Raleigh?
you
Like
planning on coming
people are
out
gonna
with these
underpay for
four
him?
guys when you've got all these values pushing between 80 and $100?
because I figured most of them would be in the 70s to 8 or like I
Oh,
figured one or two of them would be like lower than what I was actually pricing them at, you know what I mean?
got you.
And that ended up being Raleigh, right? So when I got Cal, I was like, great, this is going
This is
exactly as
gonna
I wanted
work.
to.
I'm
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
I'm getting these four. I'm getting these
No one
four.
wanted him.
Yeah.
He was like what, like
And yeah,
$53 or something. He was pretty cheap considering.
I kind of got the sense that people weren't super hot on him, and like people were sort of like, "Well, he had this ridiculous season; he's never going to do it again." Like I looked at his season; he seemed amazingly consistent, particularly like with his home runs per at bats. And I was like,
Yeah, he was good
where's
all
this
year.
is a
He was
40
good all
home
year.
run catcher is a floor, right?
Probably,
And like
yeah,
on a
probably.
good year, maybe he pops 45 or 50, right,
But
from the
would you
catcher
rather?
position.
I'll say this to you because I feel like catcher's pretty deep. Would you rather have Cal Raleigh at 53 or Shea Langoliers at 13?
Yeah, I mean the Shea price was good, and he's come out hot, but I don't think any of them have the power. Like none of those
He's
other guys
definitely
could
the
hit.
best. He's got the
Yeah.
highest ceiling for sure. There's no doubt about
Like none of those guys have 50 home run potential, and if Cal Raleigh is a 40 home run floor and a 50 home run ceiling, to
Men in
me,
Colorado. Good men in
it. Yeah,
Colorado.
Goodman could hit 40 bombs. How much? He was
Goodman
cheap.
was a
Was he
good
under
pickup.
$10? How much was he? Jesus Christ,
Um,
crazy.
Overall, okay, like I don't know, like you guys tell me, am I the fifth best team, or is this overranking
Who is
myself?
he? Who is he? Who are your pitchers again?
I have Chris Sale, I have Nathan Eovaldi, and I've got like a bunch of closers.
You do not have the fifth best team in my
Yeah.
opinion. with that,
Just
I
on
think
that, just
Sale.
on the
I
merit
think
of
Sale,
pitchers.
like obviously, since he's been to Atlanta, he's been pretty consistent. I don't think that's a bet. I think for 37 or whatever you paid is very good for Chris Sale, and I would be fine with him as my ace. Evaldi just has never pitched a full season, and last year was like kind of an outlier in a lot of ways. I don't know that he's like I don't see him pitching to a sub 2 ERA, and I don't see him pitching 150 innings. So that's my issue with like if you have Evaldi sort of like as a lottery ticket almost like okay. I don't think you paid too much for him, but I think like I would feel better about your staff if you had like a lot like Brian. Like if you had like a legit like you're in the other like Brian. I don't think has the legit ace. I think Chris Sale is a legit ace. If you had like a legit number two, Like an Evaldi could be that. He just hasn't really done it before. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's
Yeah.
hurt. He gets
No.
hurt every year. He doesn't like.
I came out of that draft feeling like I was thin on starters, or and like I needed another guy that was like in the $25 to $30 range, and like I didn't get there with it. But I took like it's like I took an extra closer instead.
Your bullpen's
Yeah,
great though. The closers, I like the closers you picked too. It's like not only did you like, I agree with the closers you picked. I think they're
it's not like I was just like selecting them out of a hat or something. But
no,
yeah,
no,
I
no.
was like I liked the group that I got. I don't know. Uh, I think I can like make a move for a pitcher, but I'm more concerned like if I got enough on the bats to get by.
I think like if Kurtz is what he was last year for a whole year, and Raleigh is like 80% of what he was, then you could definitely go to war with those two guys for sure. I think just it's whether or not they do that. Like Kurtz, I mean, like I don't think he's going to hit 290, but I could definitely see him hitting 40 home runs.
Yeah,
Like I'd be
agreed.
surprised if he didn't hit 40 home runs. I would be like that's. I'm sure you're expecting 40 plus home runs from.
For the money I paid, I have to be right.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah. Yeah.
some of the like I was happy I got like Perdomo. I know shortstop's super deep, and I felt like that was just like this is a guy
Was
nobody
he
wanted.
cheap? He was pretty cheap, right?
Just
Yeah,
five.
$5 or something.
Oh,
That was me.
yeah,
That was
shit.
me and you on Kurtz
I'd
too, by
rather
the
have
way.
him, and I paid
That
I know.
48 for Trey Turner. I'd rather have Perdomo.
Oh,
For 40. I
Ryan,
would
were
rather have
you
Perdomo for 48.
Ryan? Like, how did you go beyond what you really wanted to do for Kurtz, or like where were you at on that one?
we had. I think Jared had asked me before what I thought Kurtz was going to go for, and I said he'd be every bit of $90, close to 100.
We agreed on the price. The price seemed
Having
right.
said that, I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend that.
Yeah,
But I would say that yeah, you were literally probably $1 over what I was willing to pay. I don't know how much higher you would have gone.
I probably would have taken it to 100 and then like tapered off.
Yeah, I just couldn't. Again, the guy has played basically just over a half a season in MLB, and it was a glorious half a season. And I went through the whole rigmarole where I picked him up, dropped him, Craig picked him up, he dropped him, I picked him up again, and that's when all bets were off, and he just went wild. After he hit that home run off a hater in to win that game in walk off fashion,
No,
I was
I think
like,
it's.
this
I think
guy.
I think he came up. He got hurt, and when he came off the DL or the IL, whatever you want to call it nowadays,
Yep,
whatever's
yep,
politically correct, he fucking went off when he came off the IL. Like he went like right away, like went off. Like he
yeah,
had
and he never
no
looked
home
back.
runs before he got hurt, and then he came
Yeah,
back from the injury and was
yeah,
just like, this is all the hype like right away.
yeah. And
Like
he was having huge at bats in huge
yeah,
moments in huge games and coming through. It
like
wasn't
these were
just
clutch.
one.
He was hitting
It
clutch
wasn't
fucking home
Yeah.
runs.
just the
Yeah,
home run off a hater. He had like four
every
or five
day.
game winning
Yeah.
or lead changing home runs in the eighth or
And
ninth inning
he's running
or
around the bases
faster.
going, this is what I do. Like I love the
Yeah,
confidence. He
churning
wasn't
the
like,
butter.
yeah, like he's nothing like he definitely believes in himself, which is,
And he looks seems
to
like a
seem
good
like a young
kid.
kid. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's good to see. It's
having
not like
fun playing
he's
the game.
yeah. So
All right,
I'm a Nick Kurtz fan. I guess we gotta see
speaking
it.
of bidding against each other, so you oddly enough ranked Craig right after you, so he
Yeah.
couldn't get the nod
I
after all of
thought
that.
I thought Craig was the best of the sort of like unbalanced teams. At least that was just kind of my take. Like, I do think like,
What about do you
yeah,
take him down after the trade, or do you bring him up after the trade? Like, do you think that trade
I
was
might,
better or
yeah, I
worse
might
this year?
drop him a spot after the trade. I was not a fan of that trade for him. I'm not really sure what he was thinking with that because like I, I I understand the logic of like okay, like let me shift one bat to get an arm and kind of like give myself like set up for the season. But I didn't think Bradish was the type of arm to do it. Like if you're gonna do that, like get a real arm in there and
I
like
think Bradish
yeah,
personally. I think Bradish is an ace. I think if you look at his
right.
numbers before he got hurt and you look at his numbers last year, like he's an ace. I just don't know that he's. That's more of like my opinion based on like the sample that we have. So it could easily not be that way, but if it works out and he's like a top 10 pitcher, then that's a great trade. But like
Yeah,
if he's like less, I think if he's less than like a top 15 pitcher, then that's not what you want to do. he put a lot he put a lot of eggs in the Kyle Bradish basket for sure.
Yeah.
Kyle as well, but I don't know that he is. I don't know. Honestly, I'll just
You
tell you
really
straight
look.
up.
I
I
think if you
think
go look at his, I
value-wise,
don't know if you really ever looked at his look under
I
the hood
have.
on him.
I've looked under the
He's
hood. I've dissected him. I think he's a really, really good arm, and he's a low
yeah.
tier ace. And I also am just not a huge fan of Jazz, so I literally don't have as much of a problem with the trade from a value standpoint. I think it's
My
just
issue was more like I
shifting.
felt he could have gotten more than Altuve along with Bradish. Like if he had
Yeah,
gotten Bradish and then like a better piece, I
yeah.
would like that
That's the
trade
only
kind of.
thing. Yeah,
Altuve is the part that makes me not really like the trade as much
yeah.
Hmm.
because I kind of think Altuve is like cooked. I don't see him as like maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know.
How do you guys think? How do you guys think this is going to play with Craig, with Schwarber, Alonso, Gino Suarez, and then like Ellie De La Cruz in the
I was
mix? Like,
saying
how do you
this to
think
him,
that's
and
set up?
I don't know if you wrote this in your review, but I was saying to him, you got Ellie and Schwarber for 180. I don't think that that's bad.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
agreed.
Because like Ellie was so cheap that Schwarber for 113 didn't really fuck him up budget wise. Like if you look at it, like the only like really bad one is Alonso at 110. Because that's like to me like $30 more than you should pay for Pete Alonso. Like I have him at 80, like max, but like
I was surprised. I thought Ellie was going to go over 75, so to see him at $67, that was
that's a
kind of surprising
steal.
me.
That was like a steal to me. And like
Again, though, like
he's
I think what that was the 10th pick of the draft, so like
yeah,
I think
people
people were
didn't.
saving money for their like
I know
fucking
I
me.
was. I know I
Yeah,
was.
That was a good
But
get.
yeah. So that's what, like he was like, oh, what do I do? And I just said I was like, dude, if you look at like the math, like I would take Schwarber and Ellie for 180. I think almost anybody would. Like that seems about
well, no,
right.
like I think that I'm not. I don't think the values are bad. I'm just more like, how is this team going to play? Like he's got like one starter, and like how do you just drive this thing? You know,
Who are his starters besides Bradish? What else does he have?
he's got Freddie Peralta on the
Okay,
Mets.
all right, all right.
He's got, and then like his next best starter is like Jack Leiter for $2.
Oh man, yeah, that's not. I
Yeah,
got
so
better
like
starters for $1. I think
there's no.
that's
I
not great.
mean, he's got you know he spent money on six guys, so it's again this is my thing with these teams where it's like yeah like Schwarber, LaCruz, Alonso, Jazz. Those guys are probably worth those prices, but like you built something. Like, how are you going to play this?
It's kind of the team he had last year. He had his three bats were Alonso, Schwarber, and Ellie last year. So
Well, he had some wood
he had a
luck
much
too.
better pitching staff, though. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. So this is not. We're not used to seeing that without Craig. And if you remember how good James Wood was the first half of
Yeah,
the year last
yeah,
year,
this is not like Craig.
Craig put it in cruise control. And I don't know. Now all of a sudden you're going to have to see a Craig that's active on Sundays on the waiver wire with arms, along with the other six
Trades.
people that make a
Craig
living
never likes to
doing that.
trade. Like he's already made a trade. Like he's.
Yeah,
I
he
like the
is out of his
cowboy Craig
comfort
coming
zone.
out here.
No,
Like
he is out of his comfort zone. We'll see how it pans
yeah.
out, but
I told him
I
have
don't know.
fun, dude. I was like, fuck it, just have fun.
Yeah,
He's always
I
very
like the
conservative, but
evolution.
like if you don't like your team, I feel like if you really, really don't like your team, then just don't be attached to any of those guys. And like if you're not doing well after a few weeks, just like make a move, just like switch it up. Because like in the end, as much as like I want to win and everyone wants to win, not liking your fantasy baseball team really, really sucks. Do you know what I mean? Like watching these guys and really hating them. Like you just want them gone from your life like so badly.
And it's 6 solid months out of your life
Yeah.
where it's just
Yes.
you wake up and you're depressed.
Right.
It
Like
sucks.
my team was terrible last year, but I knew every 5 days I got to watch Tarek Skubal. And I just like I was very happy that day. So it was like you know,
Hold
whatever.
on a sec.